Hello and welcome back to Hot to the Top. Hope you're all doing well today and you're looking forward to this exciting episode as we take on our Swiss rivals Basel in the quarterfinals of the Europa League. It's going to be a good episode. The best part about this is, you'd imagine, fingers crossed, based on recent form and how we've played against Basel for the most part across this entire series, we are the favourites to go through into the semi-finals, and hopefully it's a bit of a free pass into the semi-finals, but we can't take anything for granted. We also have a game against Koreans wedged in the middle, but that's not particularly exciting. In fact, we might not even do it. I might decide not to do it because this game against Basel is just far too exciting. Anyway, since you were last here for the 2-2 draw with Lazio, but went through on away goals, which is fantastic stuff in the second knockout round, we have played 4 games and we have won 3 of them, starting off with a 3-1 victory over Lugano with Schneider, Bunce and Tony Cruz getting the goals in that game, which is fantastic. We then played Servette in the Swiss Cup quarter-final, a 2-0 win with Bottles and Smith getting themselves on the score sheet. Then we had a rather disappointing 1-1 draw with St. Gallen, who are sitting 9th in the table with... It was a little bit of a rotated side, but for the most part, it was a pretty strong, full-strength lineup. If I move my head around, you can see who's in it. It's pretty strong, I've got to say, so I was quite upset about that one. But we did bounce back against Sion with a 6-0 victory. Bottles, Schneider, Tim Wright with the breaks, Billy Schmidt and Granit Xhaka on the score sheet there, which was fantastic. So let's waste no time. Let's get straight into it. Kalas is in goal for us today, as per usual, but he has got a groin injury. It shouldn't affect him too much, but he has got a little bit of a strain, so be careful of that one, watch out for that one. We then got a backline of Guardado, Ross McQuaid, Sterigu and Breton, because Felipe Cruz is suspended, unfortunately. Moving into the midfield, of course, it's Bernardo and Schneider, with an attacking midfield of Bernard, Alex Smith and Capitano. Billy Schmidt keeps swapping around with him, but at the moment Billy Schmidt's just coming back from a little injury, but has played very well in his last 5 games, so expect to see him in the starting lineup very, very soon. And just ahead of those 3 players is, of course, the man, the myth, the legend, Matthew Bottles. So as kickoff is upon us here today, I am super excited. I was very nervous before the games against Seville and Lazio because they would touch and go, you know, to some extent they are better sides than us, and we've done very well to beat them, obviously, but I did think, you know, they're good chances to lose. Like, it's 50-50 in those sort of games. This game against Basel, I'd say it's 75-25 that we're going to win, I'd say. That's how confident I am going into this game against Basel. Obviously, they're a good side. They've won the league in recent years, and they've beaten us in games in recent, you know, this season they've beaten us in a couple of games, or a game this season or so. As Bottles shows why he is one of the best strikers in all of Europe, as he manages to get the tackle in on the Basel keeper, who makes a massive mistake, and we've already picked up an away goal, which is fantastic to see. Let's watch this on a replay. To be fair, the left-back here has sold his goalkeeper short by passing it back like that, just inviting Bottles to try and tackle him. If Bottles didn't tackle him, then Alex Smith was going to be able to tackle him, but Bottles gets it in the back of the net. 1-0. So if we can keep this up, it will be a nice route into the semi-finals. Quite an easy route into the semi-finals. We said last time on the draw that coming up against Basel in the quarterfinals was far easier than Lazio or Seville in the first and second knockout rounds. Of course, Basel and Grasshoppers are the only 2 Swiss sides left in all European competitions. Because of course we saw Luzern get knocked out last time, and Lausanne also get knocked out of the Europa Conference League. So we are the final 2 sides left, as I think Breton might have just given away a penalty. It's gone to VAR, and the VAR has said, yes, it is a penalty. Can Kalas pull off another save? He saved a penalty last time against Lazio. He can't quite save this one, although it looked easier to save than the one against Lazio, unfortunately. So that's an 8th goal for Demoli there for Basel as they equalise on the 22nd minute there. To be fair, he's very unlucky not to save that. Class should have done better, I've got to say, but it's one of those things sometimes. We should still have enough about us, though, to push forward and look for a winner in today's game, and that is potentially it, as we get across into the box from Bernard, and Bottles is there at the near post to just tuck it away nicely. An instant response to Basel's penalty as we go 2-1 up, which you love to see. Let's watch the replay on this one as Bernardo puts it into Bernard and into Bottles. Defenders get mixed up. It's in that right area. The keeper's nowhere near it. Beautiful. But is there a chance for another goal just before half-time, as Sterigu gets a nice tackle in there, and Alex Smith having to do a bit of defensive work there, gets it up towards Bernard. A great ball. Can we score another goal just like we scored a second ago? Bernard goes for goal himself, hitting the post in the end. I think it was probably meant to be a cross, but ends up hitting the post instead. We'll take it as we head into the break, 2-1 up. Bottles has just picked up a knock, apparently. Looks like a bruised ankle. We don't want to risk him too much as Basel have just pulled back another goal there, which you hate to see. Got to say, this is a bit more competitive than I actually thought it was going to be. What it means is, though, our main goal-scoring threat's picked up an injury as there is a highlight straight from the kickoff, and we probably need to take him off to make sure he's fit enough for the second leg. But Breton, can he put a decent cross into the middle from this? He can. Oh, collected by the goalkeeper. But is there going to be an extension of the highlighters? The keeper looks to clear it. Well, he doesn't really clear it very far. He plays it back to... Oh, and they've made another mistake. Bottles picks up another goal in today's game. Is that his hat-trick now, which is fantastic. We will take him off the pitch because he's got a potential foot injury. Obviously, he can't win that back because he's chasing the ball around like that. Let's just watch the replay on this one. Oh, we've missed the replay. Let's not watch that. We will take Bottles off, though, for who I thought we had Coley on the bench. Apparently not. Billy Schmitz can play up front, though, so we'll put Billy Schmitz on the pitch instead of him for now, as Capitano needs to come off the pitch, really, for someone. Bernard can swap over, and then Tim Wright can go on that left-hand side of the pitch. They're the two changes that will make for now. If we can grab a fourth goal, that might kill the tie-off completely. One thing I will say about today's game, though, is Basel have been far more effective with their chances than we have. We've scored 2 of our goals because of massive mistakes from the Basel goalkeeper and defenders, selling the goalkeeper short and things like that. We haven't really created that much from open play despite having 21 shots. Basel have been far more effective. Yes, they had a penalty, but they've done well with the chance that they have had, scoring another one of those. So we can't give them too many chances because they like to punish us, whereas we are a bit ineffective in today's game, I've got to say. We've relied on luck heavily to be in the position that we are right now as Basel, ball on the edge of the area, out to Rodriguez, number 8, and the shot from distance was only just over the bar. As the clock starts to tick down, though, in the final 10 minutes, we should have just about done enough to hold on for the victory. Or not. 3-3 as Basel pull another one back. And I've got to say, yes, we have dominated the stats and things like that. But for me, Basel have played better in a way because they've just taken their chances. They are more effective with their chances today as Smith heads it over from point-blank range. Yes, okay, we've got 3 away goals, which is fantastic. As long as we don't lose the next leg, pretty much, we should be going through. But we should have done better there. Now, of course, I want to be rotating the lineup for the game against Kriens. And that's not been that entertaining for you in recent episodes because we've lost a couple games and we've just not looked good and it's not really brilliant. So actually, I think what I'm going to do, even though Kriens are bottom of the table, I'm going to play the Kriens game off camera and come back for the exciting second leg against Basel. Well, perhaps I should have shown you this one because we beat Kriens 5-1 in the end. Tony Cruz got 2, Bottle scored 1, Xhaka scored 1 and Coley scored 1 as well, as we have already qualified apparently for the Champions League next season, which you love to see. Young boys can't be too far off because they're only 3 points behind us in the league table, so surely another win for them will guarantee them Champions League football as well. And at this stage, you'd also imagine that Basel are going to be going for the Champions League as well, as they are 12 points ahead of Luzern. Only 6 games to go in the league, to be fair. That's not really long at all, is it actually? Not long at all. 6 games to go, including games against Basel and Young Boys. Win those 2 games and we're probably going to win the title again. Interestingly, the board have already set the budgets for next season, so the wage budget has gone up to nearly £600,000 per week, but the transfer budget only £9 million, and that is because we are paying quite a bit of money out to have, obviously, Haroldinho, to have, what's he called, Ross McQuaid, I don't know why I forgot that, and we're still paying for Lars Jacobs, actually, effectively, because we had quite a few instalments on that, so we are paying probably around £20 million a season for those 3 transfers still. Yes, it's not brilliant because we don't have quite as much money to spend on players this coming transfer window, but if we didn't pay in those instalments, there's no way we would have had either of those 2 players at the club right now, Haroldinho or Ross McQuaid. However, I don't think we're really going to be that close to the £600,000 budget, the wage budget that is, so we can probably move some wage money into transfer budget instead. And it's come round pretty quickly, but we have now got the second leg against Basel, so the team is actually the exact same as it was. We rested most players actually in between games there, so pretty good stuff resting most players for the Koreans game. Billy Schmitz is the only change we're going to make. Billy Schmitz coming on for Capitano, who I didn't think played particularly well in the first leg, so there's one change for you. I lie, actually, there are 2 changes. Ross McQuaid is suspended, so Haroldinho has to start today's game instead of Ross McQuaid, of course. So, without further ado, let's get into it. It's the quarter-final second leg, winner takes all. Come on. So kickoff is upon us once again, and it's big. It's big. I expected us to go out and win that first leg, if I'm honest with you. I expected us to go out there and take a commanding 2 or 3 goal lead, if I'm being honest with you. Did not expect the way to go in the end. And we've just scored a goal, but I think Bottles was offside in the build-up. It was a great little knock-on, to be fair, from Billy Schmidt. But yes, VAR in process there, and it's not been awarded. I did think that was offside, so a little bit of a false alarm there, but at least we are scoring a goal from open play that time as Bottles has been put forward again. Oh, great save from the keeper there to just about get it over the bar. I think he sort of pushed it into the ground and bounced it over the bar. Pretty good stuff from the keeper as Felipe Cruz's corner comes in. Billy Schmitz is there over the bar though. Billy Schmitz looking really lively coming on the pitch there, obviously. Early indications though, 30 minutes into today's game, 8 shots to 1 shot. Surely we are going to be winning today's game. Obviously, we dominated proceedings last time, but drew 3-3. But at home, I'm backing us at home, especially when Randy Schneider can do that. What a curling effort that was. His 13th goal of the season. And that was a bit special, I've got to say. Billy Schmitz at the centre of play once again. Again out to Felipe Cruz. Puts it in, cleared only as far as Bernard, who gets it into Schneider, who just takes one touch, curls it around the keeper. You love to see it. So that puts us in the driving seat as things stand. 4-3 up on aggregate. You love to see it. And Schneider with another chance to try and get a ball into the air. He does to Bernard, who hits the post, bounces off the back of the keeper in the back of a net. 2-0, 5-3 on aggregate. Surely now it's just routine. Let's just not concede any goals. Keep focused. Keep playing how we normally play games, because sometimes we do lose them and play very terribly. How we normally play games and we normally win games. Keep doing that and we should be okay. Basel with their first highlight, I think, of this first half, looking to try and come forward, or they are going backwards right now. That's a great ball over the top, to be fair, and that's a huge save from Class, otherwise that was in the back of a net. So half-time, 2-0 up. You love to see it. No other fixtures going on right now, interestingly. I suppose we'll see what happens after the game as to who wins the other games. That's going to be quite interesting. And who are we going to face in the semi-finals? I don't know about that. Semi-finals. I can't even remember who's left in the draw, if I'm honest with you. So we could have anyone. Also, it is fantastic to see a sellout here today. We don't actually get many sellouts, which I think is always quite upsetting, but 26,000 turning up for this quarter-final tie against Basel. Interestingly, only about 15,000 turned up for the Barcelona game in the Champions League first knockout round last season, which I thought was really bizarre, but good to see a sellout here today for this huge tie between the two Swiss giants as Bottles into Schneider, Schneider back towards Felipe Cruz, into Billy Schmitz. What great movement that was. Billy Schmitz is my man of the match today, but Randy Schneider grabs his second. Schmitz, though, is creating everything, I've got to say. I'm sure his average rating is going to be like a 6.3 or something like that, something ridiculous like that. What is his average rating for Billy Schmitz? 6.9. I mean, he should have a better rating than that because I feel like he's been at the centre of everything today. We're going to take Schneider off, though. His 2 goals has been fantastic, but he is looking a bit tired, so Tony Cruz can come on for him. Less than 10 minutes to go in today's game now. Surely we are going to be going through to the semi-finals as the keeper clears the ball, but only as far as Navio, who gets it in towards Matthew Bottles. Back to Navio, who can put a decent ball in towards Alex Smith. Alex Smith takes it on himself and gets it on the second time of asking from a pretty impossible angle. It's 4-0 on the night, 7-3 on aggregate. I think we're going through to the semi-finals. Let's just watch this, though, on the replay. Alex Smith, literally from the byline, puts it in the back of a net. On his right foot as well. That is impressive. But I think that is going to be that. We've got 30 seconds left on the clock. Guardado's picked up a knock, a tight thigh apparently, or something like that. But he's back on the pitch now, so it can't be that bad as the clock is ticking down. Finally, a ball forward for Basel. Are they going to grab a consolation goal? Still not going to grab a consolation goal. And that, surely, is going to be that. Class lines up for his goal kick. And is the referee going to blow his whistle as Billy Schmitz, my man of the match, gets himself on the ball up towards Alex Smith? Can we grab a 5th goal as Smith races forward, gets tackled at the last second, and the referee still not going to blow the whistle for some reason? Surely that is going to be it now. Take us into the semi-finals, please, referee. End this madness as Alex Smith just plays it out. Surely that's going to be it. Come on, please. There we go. 4-0, 7-3 on aggregate. and a semi-final awaits Grasshoppers. The reason why other games weren't being played is because today is a Wednesday for some reason. I don't know why we're playing on a Wednesday, but we are. Anyway, we are the first team qualified through into the semi-finals, and to get to the semi-finals, we have been given £1.29 million. Just as a reminder, when we lost the first knockout round of the Champions League, we got given nearly £9 million. It just shows how much money is in the Champions League and how valuable Champions League money really is. Anyway, it means we've got to wait a little bit longer to find out who we could be playing against in the semi-finals. So Arsenal, Schalke, Lille, Celtic, Valencia, Bayer Leverkusen. It's all pretty close, to be fair still. It could be anyone's game still, so we'll continue that. And we'll see who we are going to potentially be facing up against as Arsenal win on away goals, Lille end up beating Celtic, and Valencia beat Bayer Leverkusen. So I presume a draw is... Well, the draw isn't around somewhere because the draw has been done apparently. We're playing Valencia in the semi-finals, and that's going to be a tough game. But we've already dispatched of Seville. I reckon we can dispatch of Valencia. Of course, what that means is Arsenal are playing Lille, and Lille, that's going to be... Because obviously in the European coefficients, if we can get it up, Europe Nation Club coefficients, we are in quite the battle with French clubs, though we have been in recent years. They actually are getting ahead of us quite a bit this season. I presume that is because if we go back enough pages to this, right, so Lille, they've got one club in the Europa League. They've got, let's look at the overview of this instead. Champions League semi-finals. Oh, both Paris Saint-Germain have been knocked out of the Champions League, so they've still only got one club. In the Conference League, though, they've got Stade Rennais still there as well. So they've got two clubs left in European football, whereas we only have one, which is why their coefficient is so good. But if we end up beating Valencia and then we beat Stade Rennais in the final, for example, that could change the balance in our favour in the coefficient, perhaps. I don't know how it works, but it's going to take us a lot closer, especially towards Italy as well, who I think have dropped away a little bit. So that's quite handy too. Either way, next episode is going to be Valencia, maybe Basel, and then Valencia again. So look forward to it. It's going to be an exciting episode. Potential for us to qualify for our first ever European final. So once again, thank you ever so much for watching today's episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. And if you have done, please do drop a like on the video for me and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And I'll see you next time. For some more Hot to the Top, have a great one. Goodbye.